Alright guys, what is up? Today, a bit of a different video, not involving sports nor Survivor. We will be talking about Big Brother Canada. Now, if you guys watch my intro video, you guys know that I have watched Big Brother Canada. And just a little story time is the way I came across the show. So, as most of you know, right now, COVID-19 is going on and quarantine. So what happened was, I had spring break, school was off, but I couldn't go anywhere, so I was really just stuck at home for 2 weeks. And there's nothing on. And that's when I came across the a commercial on TV where it was showing Big Brother 8, I believe, where the contestant, or it was on the news, showing a clip where the contestants were forced to leave the house because of COVID. And I was like, wow, that's just insane. If I was there, I would have been like, wow, I went in there knowing normal life and I go out knowing that the whole world is on lockdown. So I was just like, wow, that's crazy. Then on my phone the next day, I believe, I searched up, all right, what's Big Brother about? And I saw there was a US version and a Canada version. And the Canadian version was actually on YouTube. Season 6 was on Global. Now I believe every single season is on Global on YouTube except season 7. So yeah, season 6 was on YouTube at the time. And I just saw that right away, and I said, hey, let me watch episode 1. Episode 1 to around 9, episode 1 to around 8, in that area, I really did enjoy. It was okay, but it was just like a whole different game than Survivor. Every vote was almost unanimous. But then it started getting good, which leads me to my review. Alright, so we start off this season with Rosina going home as the first evictee. And we see relationships forming with, the red room and the white room. The red room having, Dayla, the showman's couple just starting out, Liv, Ali, and Erica. And yeah, and then later on we have Marin and Veronica coming in as the two new people coming into the house. I believe that was episode 3, maybe 4. And then we have Andrew getting evicted as a second evictee. And then we have one of the people from the red room, Jesse, getting evicted. And yeah, I was just like, all right, well, yeah, it's not totally one-sided. They're not turning against each other, but, some stuff's going on, so I'll just continue watching. But it was still, like, unanimous. You kind of knew who was going home every week. But then we get to the double eviction, and this is where I got into it. We see Veronica call the whole house for house meetings, and then her crazy talks with the whole house about how like she's gonna hunt all of them down, or she's the wolf and they're the sheep, all this stuff. Turns out she gets evicted, sitting next to Marin. Marin stays safe, and that's where we have the double eviction. Then they do their HOH challenge. Liv wins. They do their POV. First of all, she puts up Ryan and Marin. Marin, once again, everyone at home probably thinks, all right, Ryan is going home. And then, obviously, he won the POV. She decided to put up Hamza. And that's where my first ounce of emotion came out watching this show. I'm not saying I cried or whatever, or I was like laughing hysterically. It was where I actually cared about someone going home, and I was like, wow, this sucks. So obviously, yeah, they all voted, well, most of them voted for Hamza. I think Erica was the only one who didn't. And then that's where I was like, damn, man, I gotta keep watching now to see what happens. And mind you, I'm watching this in 2020. BB Can 6 was in 2018, I believe, so I was watching like 2 years late. So I didn't want to check any of their socials. I didn't want to search up anything on Google, any of their reviews. And I couldn't vote, obviously, because there's sometimes fan votes. So yeah, I was watching this later. But anyway, back to the review. Then we go to the next eviction, where it was another crazy turn of events, where it was Ryan and Will on the block. And Ryan got off the block by a fan vote. And it was a crazy moment. And then another crazy moment where Caleb puts up Erica, and eventually Erica goes home. It was just a crazy turn of events and a great way to almost, not totally conclude the pre-jury part of the show, but almost. And it really turned the show around for me. Then the final jury or the pre-jury final eviction. Marin ends up going home. Once again, him and Ryan are on the block. By a vote of 5-3, Marin went home. And yeah, it was actually a close vote. So it was good to see. And now we're off to the jury part of the show. Kind of a letdown of Ryan going home because he just got saved like a week ago. But whatever, the people in the house made the right move, so Ryan is the first member of jury, and at this point I'm, pretty into the game, and it was a pretty good show so far. Alright, so then we get to the triple eviction, and in my opinion, it was good to see, but triple eviction just a little too much, like 3 in one night. I know it's a surprise factor, but I think double is where it should be. Anyway, we see a big deal being made here. It was really a matter of Paris, Will, and Maddie choosing to keep the showmans or choosing to keep the ding dong duo, I guess you could say. And they chose to get rid of Alejandra. Don't know if that was good or not. I guess for Paris it was, spoiler alert. And yeah, and then we get to the triple eviction, and they end up getting out Johnny and Liv, which you expect. And yeah, that's how that episode ended. So boom, we go from 1 jury member to 4, just like that. And just like that, we have 5 people left in the game. It's coming down to crunch time, and at this point, if you're watching the season, you're really invested to see what happens. So, a little break once again from the review. At this point in the season, what was going through my head is always, who I think should be winning the game right now, who should have the most jury votes right now. And to be honest, I did have the showmans. They annoyed me a lot, but you gotta respect their game. So I actually had Kayla and Derek were very, very close, and I edged it out at this point to Derek. It would actually become Kayla's game later, but at this point, Derek, Kayla 2, Paris 3, and then Maddie, I say 4, Will 5. But if Will made it, he would have won if he made it to the end because he had such good social, aspects in the game. He was friends with everyone, everyone loved him. Anyway, back to my review in the final 5. Here we see Will kind of making a stupid deal with Derek to guarantee final 4 when he could have easily won that challenge. He was by far the taller guy. He could have reached down to get all the sticks and stuff and taken out either Derek or Kayla, or even done a backdoor, and that could have been his move to win the season. But he stepped down to guarantee a final 4, which he probably would have anyway. And then boom, just like that, Maddie goes home. We're down to the final 4. And, it's really fun times now. Really entertaining now, as it has been for the last, good batch of episodes. So yeah, let's get to the final 4. So at this point, I was thinking, the game-winning move. Well, I thought, I had no idea who was going to win. I didn't get spoiled at all. So I had no idea. I thought the game-winning move is either going to be Derek will take out Kayla, or vice versa, and whoever takes the other person out will win the game. That's what I thought would have happened. But then we see Will going home here, and you could see Paris just being so sad, but she couldn't do anything about it because she didn't really have a say. So we see Will going home, and just like that, we're down to the finale night. And the opening, it just gets you into the zone, a good opening there. And at this point, all 3 played very good games. Very good games. Derek was a little bit more physical, but he had control. Kayla had control, but backstabbed a lot of people and didn't really make a lot of friends. And Paris played a pretty good game. She was most of the time in the majority. And she made moves when she had to, but not crazy big moves, but you don't need to, so all had a chance to win the game. Now, putting a little Survivor into this, it's kind of like a Parvati, Sandra, Russell final 3 here, in where Paris is Sandra, Parvati is Derek, and Russell is Kayla, where a lot of people might think Kayla made the biggest moves, but she didn't know how to handle the jury and how to deal with taking people out. Even when, when the winners came in the final episode and was talking to her, Kayla didn't really take any advice. You could see Paris taking the advice. And yeah, big moves don't mean you win the game. They have to be moves that make sense or big moves that pay off. So, she played a good strategic game, I think, but she could have improved a little. Then we have Derek that played the poverty game. This is probably the most far-fetched out of the other two, but I just had to, incorporate him with someone. He had a dip in everything. He won a lot of challenges, or competitions, and he was working with Kayla, aka Parvati, working with Russell. But a lot of people, you know, kind of like Parvati more than Russell. And in this case, some people kind of like Derek more than Kayla. So yeah, and then we have Paris as Sandra. The thing is, a lot of people in the Survivor community think Sandra shouldn't have won the season, whereas, it's kind of 50-50 in the Big Brother community, maybe even more, that thought Paris should have won or deserved to win. So yeah, but she played a really good social game, and she actually is something different from Sandra. She did win challenges when needed to. So all three played good games in their own aspect. And then we get to who is the final eviction of the season, and it's Derek, and it's not Caleb making the big move, it's Paris taking him out. And we have, for the first time in BB Can history, an all women's final two. So when the final votes are happening, just by the way they're talking, I'm like, all right, Paris probably wins this. Kayla gets 2-3 votes max, I believe. Derek was probably gonna vote for her, and I thought Allie and Liv might. That was about it. Maybe Ryan, but I think Paris has got it. But Kayla still could win, and it ended up being 6-1, I believe. Paris winning the season, well-deserved winner. Personally, at the time, I had Kayla winning the season, and now looking back at it, I'm a little bit more 50-50, but if I still had to vote for a winner, it would have been Kayla. But yeah, Paris, don't get me wrong, very deserving winner. And yeah, that's my review on BB Can 6. A great season. Starts off a bit slow in my opinion, but definitely picks up towards the 4th eviction. Start watching on the 3rd, that's when it gets good. 3rd, 4th. And yeah, so now my actual rating of the season. Out of 10, I give the season a solid 8 out of 10. You guys can take that however you want, good, bad, even. 80% I think is decent. If we just rated off the first 8-9 episodes, I would have given it a 5 maybe, a 4 even, but it got really good after. And you have to be invested in it, and that's what happened. So yeah, that's about it. There will be a BB Can 7 review coming soon, because I have watched that during quarantine as well. And yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Peace out.